Have you ever trusted someone, only to one day realize they weren't who you thought they were? Have you ever asked yourself, why didn't I see their true colors sooner? The truth is, people are complicated. They can wear a mask for years. They can say all the right things, act with perfect manners. But it's only when the moment is right that the mask finally slips. So the real question is, how do you see someone's true character before it's too late? How do you know who's truly trustworthy and who you should keep at arm's length? Today, I want to share with you a simple but incredibly powerful perspective. Just pay attention to two things, and you'll begin to see people for who they really are. No words needed. No guessing games. This isn't some quick body language hack. This is something people learn the hard way, through years of experience, pain, and personal growth. And if you're in a season of slowing down, going deeper, and reevaluating the relationships in your life, then what I'm about to share will be well worth your time. So let's dive in, together, into two subtle but undeniable signs. And once you see them, you'll never look at people the same way again. 1. Watch how they treat people who have nothing to offer them. Here's something that's true almost every time. If you want to know whether someone is genuinely kind or just performing kindness, watch how they treat people who can't do anything for them. The waiter at the restaurant, the cashier at the grocery store, the security guard, the customer service rep, or even the people who simply pass through their life, quietly, without a name, without any social advantage. When you have nothing left to give, that's when people reveal who they truly are. It might sound a little sad, but honestly, it's one of the most valuable gifts life can offer. Because you'll never know who truly loves you if you're always useful in their eyes. When you have money, status, energy, or connections, you'll find yourself surrounded by people. They call you family, ride or die, the one they can always count on. But what happens when life takes a turn? You lose your job. You get sick for a while. You can't do or give or help like you used to. You'll notice, some people call less. They check in less. They don't need you like they used to. Not because they're bad people, but because that relationship was never built on love. It was built on benefit. A man once told me, I used to be the guy everyone leaned on. I had money, connections, answers. But after a bankruptcy, after I got sick and couldn't help anyone anymore, I realized just how few people really cared about me. I'd call, and no one picked up. I'd ask for help, and suddenly everyone was too busy. But I'm actually grateful. Because when I lost everything, I finally saw who stayed. True connection doesn't require you to always be useful. A real friend will still check in, even if you have nothing to offer. Someone who truly loves you will still show up, even if all you've got left is a tired heart. And the ones who stay are the ones you keep for life. Want a simple way to test a relationship? Step back. Stop giving. Stop helping. Stop being useful. If someone starts drifting away when you no longer play a role in their life, backhand index pointing right, then you've got your answer. They were never really there for you. They were there for what you brought with you. So next time life puts you in a season where you've got nothing in your hands, don't just see it as a loss. See it as a sacred filter. A time of clarity. Because when you have nothing left to give, that's when the people around you either give back or walk away. And that, right there, is who they really are. Don't be afraid of the season where you have nothing. Because a person's true self doesn't show up in money, status, or power. It shows up in the way they treat you, and the way you treat them. When there's nothing left to gain, maybe, just maybe, that's when life gently strips away what's fake and brings us back to what's real. Story 1, a cup of coffee, and a lesson that lasted a lifetime. I once witnessed a man, dressed in a sharp suit, polished shoes, the whole 9 yards, walk into a quiet little coffee shop. He ordered a drink and sat down. About 10 minutes later, the young waitress came out and accidentally spilled a few drops of milk onto the table as she placed his order. He didn't say a word. But the way he glanced sideways at her, cold, dismissive. Then he grabbed a napkin and wiped his hand, as if disgusted to have shared the same table space. He never raised his voice. But that look, that silence, that unspoken, "you're beneath me" kind of energy, I'll never forget it. See, it's not always harsh words that reveal someone's character. Sometimes, the absence of kindness speaks louder than cruelty. Story 2. True kindness doesn't discriminate. On the other hand, I once went on a business trip with an older executive named Richard. We were staying at a small hotel, nothing fancy. Right before walking into a meeting, he turned to the janitor in the hallway, an older woman pushing a cleaning cart, and said, "Hi there. How are you today? Everything going all right? Thank you for keeping this place so clean, we really appreciate it." No cameras. No audience. No one around to witness that moment, except me. But it stayed with me for life. Not because he was a big-shot executive, but because he was the kind of person who respected people, even when there was nothing in it for him. This isn't just politeness, it's a moral reflex. According to Dr. Adam Grant, a psychologist at the Wharton School, how a person treats those in weaker positions doesn't just reflect emotional intelligence, it reveals their core moral structure, something not easily changed. Truly kind people don't pick and choose who to be kind to. They don't need someone to deserve kindness in order to give it. They're kind, not because the other person earned it, but because that's who they've decided to be. Next time you meet someone, watch this instead of listening to their words. Whether it's a new friend, a potential partner, or someone you're doing business with, observe. Do they smile at the receptionist? Do they thank the waiter after a meal? Are they courteous to the housekeeping staff? Do they offer to hold the door or lend a hand to an elderly person struggling with heavy bags? These little moments, they speak louder than 100 words in a polished introduction. There's a quote that cuts deep. You can't call someone a good person if they're only good to people who can benefit them. Anonymous. Why this matters more as you get older? Because once you pass 40, 50, 60, you realize your energy is precious. You no longer have the patience for double-faced people, those who say one thing but live another. You crave authenticity. You want to surround yourself with people who are genuinely kind, not just well-mannered in public. And the easiest way to tell who someone truly is? Watch how they treat people who have nothing to offer them. If reading this just made you think of someone who once disappointed you, or maybe someone quiet but deeply kind, then maybe, just maybe, you've finally figured out why you felt what you felt. Keep this lesson close. It can protect you from the wrong relationships and help you cherish the quiet, golden souls already beside you. Part 2. How they react when things don't go their way. There's a quote I deeply believe in. To truly know someone, don't watch how they handle success. Watch how they deal with failure. Because when life falls apart, when there's no reason left to stay calm unless it's truly who they are, that's when their real self comes out. What counts as not going their way? It doesn't have to be some major tragedy. Sometimes, it's something as small as a last-minute canceled dinner plan, someone unintentionally wasting their time, a kid knocking over a cup of water onto their work, a family member misunderstanding them, or just the Wi-Fi going down when they're already stressed. Yeah. Sometimes it only takes one small thing to see who they really are. The first reaction is usually the truest. Some people blow up at the smallest inconvenience. Snapping at others, blaming the world, acting like a victim of fate. Others, even when the situation is genuinely hard, they pause. They take a breath. They respond with calm, even if they're hurting inside. They may feel disappointed or upset, but they don't pass their pain on to others. A real-life story, when someone close misunderstands you. A friend of mine, John, once had a big falling out with his mom. She misunderstood something he did and said some pretty hurtful things. He had every right to get angry. But instead, he looked at her and said, "Mom, I know you're upset. And I'm sorry that I made you feel that way, even if I didn't mean to." Later, I asked him, "Why didn't you defend yourself?" He smiled and said, "Because sometimes, the relationship matters more than being right." That one line, it changed how I understood emotional maturity. Real adults aren't the ones who always win arguments. They're the ones who no longer feel the need to. They've been through enough in life to know being right is overrated. Peace is better than pride. And sometimes, a soft response speaks louder than any defense. Another example, the father and the playful child. I once saw a dad sitting in a cafe, working on his laptop. His little boy came running over and accidentally spilled a glass of water all over the keyboard. And I thought to myself, oh, this is going to be bad. But the father didn't yell. He didn't scold. He simply placed his hand gently on his son's shoulder and said, "It's okay. We can fix a broken computer. But if I lose my temper, I might leave a scar on your heart." And scars, they're not so easy to fix. Do you see? Some people choose kindness, even when they have every reason to be angry. Because for them, kindness isn't a temporary choice, it's a way of life. According to researcher Brené Brown, well known for her work on vulnerability and courage, true strength isn't about controlling everything around you. It's about being able to control yourself when everything around you is out of control. And a study from Harvard backs this up. The ability to stay calm under pressure is one of the strongest predictors of relationship satisfaction and long-term stability, more than communication skills or problem-solving ability. So where can you observe this in real life? In families, when a child messes up. In the workplace, when an employee makes a mistake. On the street, when someone bumps your car. In friendships, when you're rejected, criticized, or let down. In those moments, don't listen to what people say. Watch how they handle discomfort. Some go quiet to reflect. Some explode like a shaken soda can. And some choose love over pain. Here's a simple little test for you. Next time you're out to eat with someone, and the restaurant runs out of their favorite dish, watch how they react. Do they laugh it off and choose something else? Or do they snap at the server? If a plan gets canceled, do they spiral into negativity? Or do they say, maybe this is life giving me a little break? It's the small reactions in everyday situations that give you a clear map to who someone really is inside. Why does this matter, especially now, at this slower, deeper stage of life? Because by now, you've realized something important. You no longer have time for people who are always angry, always hurt, and always blaming. You want to be around people who, when things go wrong, don't make you feel worse. You want someone who can be a soft place to land. Not someone you constantly have to manage or walk on eggshells around. And you deserve that too. You deserve to be with someone who knows how to stay grounded, even when life is spinning out of control. True character doesn't show up when someone's in power, it shows up when they're falling apart. So next time you see someone go through hurt, rejection, or loss, watch closely. Do they choose to forgive or to hold a grudge? Do they choose to learn or to blame? Do they choose to heal or to hurt others? Their answers will tell you everything you need to know about whether to keep them in your life. If any part of this touched you, write it down. Share it. Or keep it somewhere close. Because this isn't just a lesson on how to see others clearly. It's also a mirror to help you see yourself. Want to know who someone really is? Don't listen to what they say. Watch what they do. We live in a world where anyone can talk a good talk, look polished, sound kind, especially online. But you know what? A person's true character doesn't show up in the big speeches. It shows up in two very ordinary, very honest moments. 1. How they treat people who have nothing to offer them. You can often tell the difference between genuine kindness and surface-level politeness by how someone treats those who have no influence, no wealth, no value to offer. Think about it. A server at a restaurant. The security guard at the front desk. A child selling candy on the street. A cashier at the grocery store. Or simply, an elderly person walking slowly in their way. In those moments, there's no audience. No need to impress. That's when people stop pretending. And their true self comes out. Have you ever noticed? Someone bows respectfully to their boss, but looks down on the janitor. Someone smiles while handing out charity, but can't even greet the doorman where they live. Someone preaches kindness all day long, but snaps at their own child for asking too many questions. That's because some people are only kind when they have a reason to be. To people who don't matter, they don't feel the need to pretend. These moments are powerful. They reveal who values people, not for what they have, but for who they are. And in a world that often praises the loud and the shiny, it's these quiet, hidden moments of grace that show us something real. A waiter and a lesson in human kindness. I once sat in a small diner in Texas. At the table next to me was an older couple, probably in their 60s. The waiter? A young guy, clearly new to the job. Nervous, unsure, and accidentally brought out the wrong order, twice. I expected the couple to get upset. But the woman just smiled and said gently, "It's all right, honey. Take your time. First few days, huh?" "Yes, ma'am," the young man blushed, relieved. A little later, her husband added, "I used to wait tables when I was your age. Getting things wrong comes with the territory. You're doing just fine." And I just sat there, watching them. Feeling something warm and quiet fill my chest. They didn't need to prove anything. They weren't trying to impress anyone. But the way they treated someone who had nothing to offer them spoke volumes about the kind of people they were. What science says. A well-known study from Cambridge University on unobserved moral behavior found this. One of the most accurate indicators of a person's character is how they treat someone they have no obligation to be kind to. It's like the old saying goes. You want to know what kind of man he is? Don't ask him. Ask the waiter at the place he always goes to. Ask yourself. Does the person you're dating smile at the cashier? Does your coworker nod or greet the janitor in the hallway? When someone sees an elderly person walking slowly, do they help, or just walk past like they don't exist? Because none of those things are required. But a kind person does them, not for show, but from the heart. Why this matters, especially now. As we grow older, we're no longer dazzled by surface-level charm. We're not looking for someone who's just witty or successful. We want to surround ourselves with people who are genuinely kind. People we can share our days with in peace and respect. You deserve to be treated with kindness. Even when you have nothing to offer in return. And so do the people around you. Next time you're out with someone, watch how they act when things go wrong. When they're not being catered to. When they meet someone beneath their status. When they think no one's watching. Do they still lead with kindness? Because true goodness doesn't need applause. It just needs to be lived, quietly, naturally, every day. 2. How they react when things don't go their way. Life rarely goes exactly how we want it to. It rains when we need sun. The bus runs late when we're in a hurry. And sometimes, the people we trust let us down. But in those moments, when things fall apart, when expectations go unmet, that's when you truly see who someone is. Anger is a mirror. Anger isn't inherently bad. But how someone expresses it, that's where their true self shows. Some people throw things and yell. Some shut down, letting the anger quietly eat at them. And then, there are those rare people, who, even while hurt, still choose to speak calmly. You know how they do that? Not because they're numb, but because they've learned not to turn emotion into a weapon. A little story you might relate to. I once watched two best friends nearly get into a fight on a road trip. All because they couldn't agree on dinner. One suggested a vegetarian place. The other wanted barbecue. One snapped. It's always about what you want. Can you think about someone else for once? The room went tense. Everyone braced for a full-blown argument. But the second friend just smiled and said, "All right, let's do your pick tonight. Tomorrow, mine. It's not really about the food, we're here to enjoy this together, right?" And just like that, the tension melted. Staying calm doesn't mean weakness. It means strength. It takes strength to hold your peace when your emotions are boiling. It takes wisdom to remember. Not everything has to go my way for life to be good. Sometimes, the greatest strength is keeping my heart steady when things go sideways. What the research shows. A study by the Happiness Research Institute in Denmark found people who can self-regulate their emotions, especially during disappointment or conflict, report significantly higher happiness and better relationships than those who react negatively. Why? Because calm people create safety around them. You're not walking on eggshells wondering, are they in a mood today? You know, no matter what happens, it'll be handled with grace. Want to see someone's true character? Watch them when their food order is wrong. They're interrupted during something important. They give their best and don't get recognized. They're misunderstood or criticized. Their children or spouse don't do what they want. Do they lash out? Or lean in with patience? Why this matters, especially now, in this season of life. Because at this age, we've seen enough to know. We don't need fireworks. We need peace. Not perfect people. But people who can stay kind when life isn't. People who don't break you when they're broken. Who don't throw words like knives. Who can sit with you in a storm, and not add more thunder. Final thought. You may have lost relationships in the past because both sides were just trying to win the argument. Or maybe, you hurt someone, just because you were having a rough day. But here's the thing. You're not stuck in that story. You get to choose again. You get to choose kindness. You get to choose calm. You get to choose to be the kind of person who makes others feel safe, even when life is anything but. Because happiness isn't found in getting your way all the time. It's found in being someone who keeps their peace. And helps others feel it too. Everyday moments you can quietly observe. When their food order comes out wrong. When someone interrupts them while they're clearly busy. When they've worked their heart out, but don't get any recognition. When they're misunderstood, or publicly criticized. When their children or grandchildren don't do what they say. And in those small, ordinary moments. Watch them. Do they explode, or stay composed? Do they lash out, or lean into grace? Do they react, or respond? Why does this matter more than ever, especially as we enter this next chapter of life? Because at this age, we're not chasing perfection in people anymore. We're looking for calm. For peace. For people who know how to stay steady when life gets messy. Someone who, in the middle of the storm, can take your hand and gently say, "It's okay. This too shall pass. Someone who doesn't turn every inconvenience into an argument. Someone who doesn't make you tiptoe through the day. A gentle reminder. Maybe you've lost a relationship once, just because no one wanted to back down. Maybe you've hurt someone, because one bad day turned into a bad reaction. But you know what? You don't have to keep reacting the same way. You can choose again. You can choose calm. You can choose compassion. You can choose to see life with a softer gaze. Because in the end, not everything that goes our way brings us peace. But those who stay peaceful even when things don't go their way, they bring peace wherever they go. That's when the mask falls off. That's when the real character comes through. That's when you'll know whether someone truly belongs in your life or not. And it's also when you ask yourself, who am I in the eyes of others? Do I stay kind when no one's watching? Do I stay calm when things are falling apart? Because what draws others to you isn't your success. It's not your titles. It's that feeling that with you, they're safe. They're seen. They're not walking on eggshells. You're entering the most selective season of your life. You're choosing who to keep, what to pursue, what to let go. You're choosing joy. You're choosing peace. And to choose wisely, you need to see people clearly. With eyes that are observant, but also compassionate. Don't judge someone just by their words. Don't ignore the little signs in their behavior. And don't be afraid to walk away from people who make you constantly endure. Because someone once said, the right person won't drain you. The wrong person, no matter how nice they seem, will always leave you tired. If you've ever been hurt by someone who lost control during a tough time, or if you've ever regretted trusting the wrong person, then this video isn't here to help you blame them. It's here to help you grow, to see better, and to choose better for the next season of your life. Here's a little reflection exercise. Think of someone you've seen reveal their true character in one of the situations above. Write down what you learned from it. Do you want to hold on to that relationship, or let it go? Then turn inward. When was the last time you lost your cool? Would you handle it differently today? Self-observation, without self-judgment. Because understanding yourself also takes a lot of compassion. Now I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever witnessed someone show their true colors through a small, everyday moment? Share that story in the comments. I'd truly love to read it, and who knows, I might share it in the next video. And don't forget to subscribe, because in the next episode, we're diving into something I think you'll really want to hear. 3 questions to know whether a relationship is nourishing you, or quietly wearing you down. Thank you for staying with me till the very end. I hope this video doesn't just help you see others more clearly, but also helps you hold on to the right people, and become the kind of person others feel lucky to hold on to, too. Until next time.